What's going on, everyone? It's Dungeon here, and I'm coming back with another Elden Ring Beast Mode video. And today I'm going to wrap up some loose ends and grab some loot from all around the areas that we've been to thus far for episode 13 as part of my full walkthrough. So with that being said, let's get right on down to it. Alright, so here we are at Round Table Hold, and there's two things we want to do right now. Basically, first thing you want to do is make sure you talk to Rogier and talk to Dee. Make sure that all of their dialogue has been exhausted, and this way you're not going to lose out on anything. If you have to buy anything from either of them, make sure you go ahead and buy whatever it is that you need from them, and do that before you leave Round Table at this point. Alright? Now, the other thing that we're going to do is we are going to go to the bottom part of the Round Table Hold. So you might think like you're not supposed to jump off of this thing, but actually you are supposed to jump off this thing. So you jump, and once you get down there, unlike Dark Souls, you won't die. It's not that far of a drop for Elden Ring. For Dark Souls, you would die. But then you get invaded, so make sure you have your, like, a halfway decent build. Honestly, you can come here pretty early on. And the guy, if you're really low level, it might cause you trouble, but otherwise you should be okay. And here you see I just, use my Dragon Ice and take him out, basically. But you can go do whatever you want to do. Once you do, he drops his tongue. And then what you want to do is go into the room on the right. Unlike in the capital, there's nothing right behind these weapon racks, but there is something laying on the bed, and it is the Cipher Pada, which is a all-holy, like, fist lightsaber type weapon. Okay, so it does all holy damage, scales off of faith and stuff. It's pretty cool, man. Honestly, if you've never tried it, I would definitely recommend that you give it a run. For early game, mid game, as long as you're not fighting any enemies that are resistant to holy, it'll treat you pretty good. And it looks cool too, I mean, when you two-hand it, and it'll actually, the second one will pop out when you two-hand it. So, and then you'll see, actually, there's a little bit of different moveset that you can get when you do like your regular attacks. When you're done checking out the Cipher Pada, make your way over to Limgrave by the Stormhill Shack, and you might have already got this. In my earlier videos, I skipped it for whatever reason. I think I just forgot about it, but you can go and get the Strength Knot tier. Real easy to get to. You don't have to fight anything or do anything. Not that I really use it, but the other thing, I actually make my way all the way to the other side of the shack, the Stormhill Shack, side of Grace, so that I can get up on this hill right over here and grab the Lance, which is another item. It's actually a real good weapon that you can get pretty early on if you're looking for that type of build. The other things in Limgrave that I did pass up was an arrow reach talisman, and all you gotta do is from the Crucible Knight Evergull, which actually is the Stormhill Evergull, just come in here, defeat these enemies, and it's inside the chest, just right outside, or right inside this little guard quarters. So something that I skipped in Liurnia near the Gate Bridge side of Grace was talking to the lady that's looking for the grapes. And in this particular one, so this is the third one that you give her, and she's like, "Oh, grapes," and you're like, "Nah, man, they're eyes." And then she's like, "Oh," and then she's repulsed, and then she actually starts throwing up in her mouth and stuff. It's kind of funny, but it's also kind of sick, so, make sure you do that, though. Next part is super bonus, but if you want to get some extra golden runes at the base of the Great Belfries, then there is a cemetery, a mausoleum or whatever. Not a mausoleum, a cemetery, and you can grab all the golden runes. There's a whole bunch in this one. Just be careful. The enemies here could mess you up. I went on foot, so I don't have to worry about being on the torrent, which could be problematic fighting those enemies. The next place basically is the Bestial Sanctum, and this guy right here, if you didn't know, when you give him the 4th Death Root, alright, he'll give you basically the Beast Roar, Ash of War, but then he also changes. Now you might notice it, you may not, but when you rest or you leave and come back, the next time you come back or after you rest, he'll actually attack you. And when he attacks you, look, man, he could be pretty fierce. So you want to be careful. I mean, he almost messed me up a few times. You know what I'm saying? I had to get my summons to help me out on that one. You know what I'm saying? So be very careful when fighting against him. You don't have to do a lot of damage to stop him though. So that's always a bonus. So just be careful. Alright, so basically, once you put him in check, he's pretty much good. Rest, and then, or come back, leave and come back, and he'll be his normal self once again. So nothing to worry about. Now, the next place, we actually got a painting when we went to the Cilia Town of Sorcery. So, what you want to do, it's a Redmane painting of the Redmane Castle, and you have to actually fall down, or jump down, I shouldn't say fall down. You might fall down, but you really want to jump down into the certain area near that minor tree. And if you look down, you'll see these vines, like trees and stuff, right, coming out the side of the wall. And I slowed it down to normal speed so you can see, because this can actually be kind of difficult to navigate. But what you want to do, I'll be honest, the best thing to do is try, if you can, to go slow. And also, if you can, you might find it easier to stay on Torrent, because Torrent, he can not only can he jump far, but he also has a double jump. So having access to those special jump maneuvers is really good. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I almost missed it right there, but you kind of don't want to overreact, because that'll kind of get you messed up. And I've noticed that turning around that direction on this one will actually really help. You don't want to turn around the other direction. And then once you get here, you pretty much probably could jump off, but if you can get a little lower, you want to get a little lower. And the best rock to go to is the one I go to right here. Once you're all the way down, don't wake up that golem. There's no point at all to killing the golem. There's one rune over there, but it's not like you need it or anything like that. And he won't wake up unless you get like right on top of him. So basically, just come over here to the ledge, and then you see that's where the painting was made, I guess, or whatever. And then you'll get your Rain of Arrows, Ash of War. If you can recall, in the very first episode, I actually come to this area, but I noticed that I passed up the golden seed. So I showed you on the map where the golden seed is, and where a Somber smithing stone number 9 is. So look, it's very simple. You just grab the golden seed. It's so easy. If you haven't gotten it, make sure you go back and get it. The other thing is the Somber smithing stone number 9. You don't have to kill these enemies here. You can actually just go in there and grab it. It's pretty simple. It's just one of those scarabs. Just gotta kill the scarab. And I will say that in this area, the scarabs are a little bit difficult. So if you've got like a non-upgraded weapon, it could take a while. But I mean, you can always kill the enemies in the area with no problem. Last thing, once you come over to the site of grace just above the Cipher River, what you want to do is turn off your multiplayer function. Otherwise, you're going to have a tough time over here. Turn off multiplayer function, and then ride Torrent down the ravine. And as far as these golems go, what you want to do is keep your eye on the far golem and stay off of the ledge when the far golem is about to shoot, because otherwise you'll get hit. Now, I think the Torrent got hit. I didn't get hit. I didn't take any damage. But if you do it in such a way, the golem will get hit, and then it does so much poise damage that it'll knock them down. So those enemies do have a chance to drop a golem bow, the great bow, which is actually pretty darn good. So if you want to try to farm for them, go ahead and try to farm for them. This is actually a really good spot to farm for the golem great bow. make sure that you use the silver foul foot or silver, yeah, silver pickled foul foot, I think they're called. So, and if you have the silver talisman, then go ahead and do that too. Now, the other thing is that you gotta probably want to kill both, because otherwise they'll just keep shooting. Well, the way I do it is I'll try to hit them a few times once they're getting ready to shoot me with a bow, or the arrow I mean, and then kind of move away so that they can get that same animation. Because once they're in that animation, it takes them so long, you can get a bunch of hits off. Get them killed, and then come up to the Great Jar, talk to the Great Jar, and you can actually begin your 3 invasions. You have to summon these invasions so that you can actually best all 3 of them, and then get the new talisman, the best upgraded talisman for increasing your weight. It's almost like the Elden Ring. Now, I've seen people do all sorts of crazy stuff on different ways that you can beat all 3 of them, because if you're offline, then there'll be AI NPCs, and the AI NPCs, I've seen people go onto the ledges of these like little trees and stuff, and the AI NPCs will just like run off of the ledge and die. So, I mean, there's a bunch of different ways you can do it. I just tried to, best them with pretty much using, my build or whatever. I did have to change up so that I can use my bleed build. The bleed build works a lot better than the poison build against NPCs and, invasions and stuff like that. So there is that. But, it could be difficult. Some people, they, wait until they get a lot higher level, with better upgraded weapons and stuff before they can even, have a chance at challenging. So, try it. If not, if you don't get it, just make sure you don't bring too many souls over here. You shouldn't have a problem. You can always come run over here, grab your souls, and not summon them. So it's not that big a deal. If you want to give it a try, and even if you fail, it's like I said, it's not a big deal. But if you do get it, ooh, it could be so good. The talisman, depending on what kind of build you're running, it could be, really, really good, because it'll help you, wear a lot heavier gear. So check that one out. Give it a run, even if you're low level. You might be surprised. Alright, you guys, that does it for this video. If you saw something you liked, go ahead and smash that like button. But otherwise, as always, thanks, stay cool, and bye, everyone.